All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to a daily update on my 1000 days challenge. This is day 164. So let's get things started. All right, so first and foremost, you'll notice the balance has dropped quite substantially in terms of 400-ish, close to 400. And the reason why is you can see the main trading account and also the experimental trade setup, there was a hit in that sense. So some of both the long-term trades in the experimental trade setup will both trigger the stop loss. After today, the crypto market has a very significant drop. However, you so-called have a stop loss to actually protect and minimize the losses. And secondly, also in terms of my main trading account, there was some sort of a liquidation that took place that was unintended. So that's something I needed to tweak along the way as well. All right, so moving back in terms of the daily financial market update, as today is Monday, I'm just going to do a quick run through in terms of Bitcoin. On the weekly chart, things still remains bullish, but bearing in mind that you can see that there's some sort of potential exhaustion that could happen on the weekly chart. So over here, this is some sort of green candle, but there's some sort of more rejection from the top and also support from the bottom. However, there's a spike in terms of the volume so far. So yeah, there's something to bear in mind. And then for this week itself, on the daily chart, you can see that we are now potentially getting the third consecutive red candle. So that's something to bear in mind. However, we can also see that we are finding potential support at least 2120 exponential moving average on the daily chart, which is at 32345. And then we see the lower was actually 32330. So yeah, there's something to bear in mind. And yeah, so on the 4-hourly chart, this was the trade that I previously took. If you have taken the 50% profit, which is why there's potentially a good idea, I was a little bit more aggressive. So I actually closed out over here. This candle closed below this 50 simple moving average. So it was barely more like a break-even kind of trade. So this trade has since been closed. And similarly for this trade, it wasn't triggered. So I was putting a buy stop order above that wasn't triggered. So similarly, this wasn't affected. So right now what I'm trying to wait for is basically looking for some sort of consolidation pattern or potentially a change in transition to bullish market structure. So tentatively, even though we broke down below the 50 simple moving average and then we got rejected one more time, I don't see this as a confirmation of shorting it, and reason being why it's very simple. Overall, the bullish momentum still remains intact. As you can see, this 4-hour support candle is still support zone. I would say I wouldn't call it a fixed line, but this zone is still somewhat supportive. You can see over here. Yeah. So even if it does break below, we still have this as a supportive candle. And if you look on the daily chart wise, this is definitely supportive. If we drop below here, it's still supportive. Even we drop to 24K-ish, it's still rather supportive. So over here is definitely I'll look to buy more in terms of the long-term investment. So both over here and also over here. Of course, if it drops to near the 20K mark, I'll definitely get even more as well. So tentatively, I do see the retesting this 50 simple moving average on the daily chart. Or worst comes to the worst scenario, then you'll be targeting near this 20 exponential moving average on the weekly chart, which in this case, it takes 2 weeks. Potentially, we could see at least 22K to 24K region. That'll be a place where I'm very interested to get a lot more Bitcoin as well. So yep, that's more or less about it. I've closed this trade and I'm looking to enter a new long setup. But in terms of price action wise, I'll definitely need to wait for a clearer signal of consolidation or change to bullish market structure, at least on the 4-hour chart, before even considering entering a new long setup. Otherwise, that's more or less about it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.